Welcome back to CMI Files. This is part 1, episode 3, about the assassination of Assistant Inspector General of Police Andrew Felix Kaweesi. Your Excellency, a month after you had appointed Kandiho as the Chief of Military Intelligence, and you also appointed CK Asimwe as Director JAT, Mr. Andrew Felix Kaweesi was gunned down on March 17, 2017. Very many theories came up on why Kaweesi was assassinated and by whom. The investigations alleged that he was assassinated by ADF, Allied Democratic Forces, a terror group operating in eastern DRC. However, ADF did not claim responsibility for this assassination. It is important to note that terror groups around the world claim responsibility for any attack to prove their strength and tactics and also their existence. So to me, this was not the work of ADF as claimed by CMI. It was a murder, it was an assassination. Majority of the suspects arrested were former ADF militants who had received amnesty, and that's why they were picked like grasshoppers without any leads in investigations. The alleged suspects were easily arrested because they were known before the assassination. Because they had received amnesty, they had become enemies of ADF, and thus Jamiru Mukuru provided these names to Kandiho. They had to go through all sorts of torture to force them to make confessions that they were involved in the assassination of Kaweesi, which they eventually did to kind of get some relief from the torture they were going through. With the kind of torture they went through and the confessions they made, they still could not tell where the killer guns were because they did not know and had been framed. The fact that they confessed to the assassination, the killer guns should have been easily recovered. The suspects make these confessions to get relief from torture and immediately retract the statements once they appear in court. Their physical state by the time they appear in court is enough to tell that whatever they went through during investigations was inhuman and brutal. Your Excellency, the assassination of Mr. Andrew Felix Kaweesi was planned and executed by Abel Kandiho and Sika Asimwe to get media attention, be felt and seen as the best counterterrorism investigators. By 2017, police under the stewardship of General Kale Kaihura as the IGP had built capacity with full directorates of crime intelligence and counterterrorism. But Kandiho, with his criminal mindset, had to find means of rendering them useless so that CMI is seen as the best agency to handle terrorism. CMI had resorted to military intelligence and only assisted police when called for and sharing information. Kandiho and CK were used to the other unprofessional JAT and had to find ways to discredit police and get involved in the internal security issues that are a mandate of police. The assassination of a senior government official would present Kandiho and CK the media attention that they needed to portray themselves as the best investigators, which would put CMI and JAT in the public. This was planned with the help of Jamiru Mukuru, and that was by assassinating a senior government official. It is no surprise that even a majority of the suspects arrested by CMI are out on bail, and these were presented to Your Excellency as the actual killers. CMI kept rearresting them on other charges but with similar facts. Courts kept asking for evidence which was not there and finally released them on bail. The assassination of AIGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi and alleging that it is the work of ADF diverted police investigations and also created fear among senior government officials that ADF still operated within whereas not, but gave Kandho and CK Asimwe the much-needed media attention for their next operations. I can only call it creating your own operations, executing them, investigating them, and then claiming credit. Why do you think courts always find it hard to maintain charges against the accused? DPP peruses the files and recommends further investigations on so many areas, but CMI has failed to fill up those gaps. CMI ends up putting the blame on DPP and courts claiming that they are anti-government. I do understand there are some people in your government, Your Excellency, who have to make themselves heard, known, felt, and seen. A typical characteristic of uneducated people, and this is the reason why AIGP Andrew Felix Kaweesi was assassinated. This is the end of episode 3. See you in my next episode about the allegations against Rwanda. God bless you. God bless Uganda.